Hello, welcome back to the Modern Analytics track at MicroStrategy World, where we discuss the latest solutions that help organizations to drive actions and results with data. My name is Uliana Uberzacek. I'm a product marketing manager at MicroStrategy, and I have a pleasure to moderate our next session in this track entitled The Power of Architecture and Administration with Workstation. It's my pleasure to turn it over to our speakers, Erika, Shruti, and Marta, where they will introduce themselves and talk about exciting features in Workstation. Erika, over to you.
Thank you, Uli. Welcome everyone to MicroStrategy World 2022. We are absolutely excited to have you here in this session, where we will guide you through the different journeys for the architects and administrators in Workstation. I have with me two very, very smart ladies, which I have the pleasure to work with every day. And they will share a lot of the new functionalities that we have included into the product. So ladies, welcome. We have Shruti Mulagara and Marta Pietruchuk. Why don't we start with Shruti? Do you mind giving us a brief intro about you?
Of course, Erika. Hello, everyone. Welcome to MicroStrategy World. My name is Shruti Mulagara, and I'm a product manager here at MicroStrategy, focusing on workstation administration. My passion to deliver the best value for administrators came from my own experience as a platform admin for MicroStrategy's Intelligence Center team for over a period of 4 years. Prior to that, I had worked as an architect for about 5 years for various organizations. Today, I'm here with you all to talk about how an administrator can empower their responsibilities with Workstation. So stay tuned. Back to you, Erika.
Thank you, Shruti. Marta, how about you?
Thanks, Erika. Hello, everyone. Welcome to MicroStrategy World. I know we all say that, but I'm also very excited to be here myself. And as Shruti, I am working in product management in MicroStrategy and tools team to be exact. And I'm working with MicroStrategy Workstation administration tools. Before, for over 2 years, I was working also in MicroStrategy as a consultant with administration team. And that experience led me to where I am today. My daily tasks were connected to scripts and automation, and that is why I'm here today to present Python automation and scripting within MicroStrategy Workstation. Stay tuned, and I will see you soon. And now, back to Erika.
Thank you, Marta. Well, now it's my turn. I'm Erika Moreno, and I'm the product manager for Workstation, so everything related to Workstation. Today, I will focus on the architect workflows. So everything data modeling, attributes, facts, hierarchies, and how to translate those objects into reusable items for your end users. And before I joined MicroStrategy, I worked as a BI consultant for more than 13 years with different customers and across different industries. But when I joined MicroStrategy, I had the pleasure of working side to side with Shruti as Intelligence Center Director. And as Marta and Shruti mentioned, we are getting all that practitioner experience back into the product. So without further ado, let's jump into it. That was a great introduction. And for today, we have prepared an introduction of how Workstation allows the different personas to manage their BI solution from end to end. First, we will go through the 2021 highlights. Then I will start the architect journey by introducing data modeling and how to create content. After, I will pass it to Shruti to tell you all about distributing and monitoring your content. And finally, we will go into some scripting with Marta. Okay, so in 2021, we added a lot of functionality that targets administrators and architects and ensures that Workstation becomes your one-stop shop for all your needs. Part of that is the ability to create and manage applications, content groups, migrate objects, and more. We want Workstation to become your one and only tool. Architects can complete all their data modeling tasks and create content for end users to consume. administrators will be able to manage their entire platform from one single tool. But how does Workstation become your one-stop shop? Well, every organization out there collects a ton of data. Then they sort it out, specifies what the best way to consume it, and determines what are the questions that the business needs to answer. That's where we come up. Shruti can help me out to create a data source that connects to my data warehouse, and then I can start adding all those tables and converting the columns into base objects. In MicroStrategy, we call them schema objects, and they will allow me to map what I want to measure and to answer business questions like when, who, why, and where. With Workstation, you can start adding all the tables and create a semantical graph that will govern your data and ensure reusability of objects. With the schema editor, I can drag and drop the tables from my data source, and when I select the table, I can simply right-click to create facts. I can also create attributes that will help me to answer the who, why, where, and when. I can add more details to each object if I need to. And the tool also shows me recommendations on how to map existing attributes to ensure that I create the relationships needed between those objects. Talking about relationships, I can also specify the relationships between my attributes in a graphical way. By dragging and dropping, I can create relationships and see the clusters of attributes that are related to each other. This will help my end users by providing navigation on specific paths that they should follow to dig deeper into the details of their data. Now that we built the foundation, it's time to build some objects that are easy to identify for your end users. MicroStrategy allows you to tailor the content delivered to different personas by pre-filtering the data or allowing an end user to answer a prompt and select what they want to see. This reduces the development time that the architect needs to spend developing content, since they can build one dossier and then use filters and prompts to tailor the content instead of building one for each persona. I can also determine row-level security using security filters or deny the execution of specific objects by using ACLs. By modifying an object ACL, I can define if a specific user or a group of users can view, use, execute, or have full access on the object. This allows me to get as granular as I want. But how can I tie everything together so my end user can consume the data in a dossier? Well, MicroStrategy has intelligent cubes that empower the architect to combine the attributes and metrics and save it as a data set that can be scheduled to refresh. In this case, I can ask Shruti to have it ready every Monday morning, since I know that the marketing VP will use the data for his Monday morning meeting. Shruti will give you more details about caching strategies and how to accomplish this. And finally, I can create a beautiful dossier that will expose the KPIs that I need in a consolidated form that can help my end users to take action right away. Now it's Shruti's turn to take you through the admin journey.
Thank you, Erica. That was a wonderful learning about data architecting and modeling in Workstation. Like Erica had mentioned, administrator will take the requirements into consideration and establish a data connection to fetch the data. After all the beautiful content creation by the architect, I as an administrator would like to distribute this content for business consumption. I would also like to generate cache data for the business to enhance the performance and also monitor the environment thereafter for failures and security. Without further ado, let us dive into Workstation for administration. With custom applications, organizations can design and create unique experiences for different teams of users. With MicroStrategy Workstation, you can easily create new applications with customized home screen and content. When determining the home screen of an application, you can either select the library home screen or specific content like your favorite dossier as the application home screen. You can choose to disable or enable the component's security or settings to brand library based on specific requirements. You can also create groups to allow organizations to send a collection of content to users or groups of users, providing easier management of content distribution. New content like dossiers can also be added to these applications, which are synced and can also be seen across the library clients for the business users. Once the application is created, copy the unique link and send it to your users for your unique experience and faster delivery. We can look into a quick video of how these custom applications can be built and also sent to users for easy delivery. Erica, if you can click. Here, I'm creating a new application. I'm typing in the name and description of the application to be sent to the sales. For our requirement, we can also send it to the marketing team based on the department's business requirements. You can set the home screen and also enable some components like disabling comments and search bar for your library application. Choosing contents from the content groups will allow the easier distribution for the administrators to be sending content in bulk for easier distribution. So just copy the link and pass it on to the users, and they can use all the content and use it for business consumption. While we're talking about content delivery, let me bring up distribution services in MicroStrategy. Distributing content through subscriptions is another way to accomplish the business needs. With Workstation, administrators can create schedules for scheduled delivery, for example, like the sales or marketing report, which is required to be sent every Monday morning. You can create a schedule based on the requirements and use it for subscription content. We can use MicroStrategy distribution services to send reports and dossiers to users' email addresses. Administrators have the liability to create a single subscription with multi-content, which helps it easier to manage and monitor. History subscriptions improves the performance of the dossiers and reports by generating cached data for users to enhance performance. From my experience as an administrator, I know it is very hard to monitor all these subscriptions, especially when it's for failure and delivery. But with Workstation Monitor, which I will be talking about in a bit, helps the administrator to manage them effortlessly. One important aspect of managing these subscriptions is changing the ownership. It is very important to assign the right owner of the subscription to achieve a definite business value. This can be attained with one click and search for the new owner to make the change. An organization could have hundreds and thousands of such subscriptions, which makes it impossible for the administrators to manage and monitor. However, within Workstation, administrators can use filters to spot the exact subscription which needs to be looked into, or multi-select and trigger subscriptions manually to send out the emails. There's a lot of things that administrators has to monitor and maintain. How do we monitor all this activity? Erica has created intelligent cubes and dossiers. I have created data sources to fetch the data and subscriptions for content delivery. If I'm creating so much content and objects, I also want to know how everything is performing in the system. Let us move on to monitors, which give us more insights about how you can monitor your system using Workstation. Monitoring activity is a crucial responsibility of an administrator to help them to know better about their system. Workstation offers many such monitors to help an administrator use their job and identify exactly what is happening in the system. Job monitors is one such monitor that helps with monitoring execution status of each dossier or report execution. It will show us a detailed list of execution statuses and failure details of why an execution has failed. Let us say we have set up a content delivery subscription for the business. However, if for some reason this fails, the admin will know the exact reason why it has failed so that they could fix the issue and resend the email for delivery. Speaking of content, do you remember the data architecting from Erica? Well, the data sets she had created and published can be monitored with the Intelligent Cube Monitor. It shows a list of all the cached data and the statuses of all the data sets, whether it's loaded to memory or not. The subscriptions monitor is where we can manage all the subscriptions. Like I had previously mentioned, we can use this subscriptions monitor to identify the subscriptions created and also manage them for changing the delivery schedule or change ownership or manually trigger them for on-demand email delivery. Wait, we have been talking a lot about creating subscriptions. What if the requirement is to create some bulk subscriptions, like hundreds? especially when it's customized to each of its own department? I'm sure Martha has an answer for that. Martha, the floor is all yours.
Thank you very much, Shruti. I'm sure you all seen how many functions we can access with user interface. Now, let me take you to the Python journey and show you how easily you can script your way through them. Python is the next level of administration. We know it's used worldwide and to basically any task possible. And that is why we decided to incorporate it in one of our flag products, MicroStrategy Workstation. This functionality is available since MicroStrategy version 2021 update 2. But we didn't only want to incorporate it, we also wanted to make sure that you can start scripting as easily as possible. So with one simple installation of Workstation, you have built-in Python interpreter already there, ready for you to use it. But if that wasn't enough for you, we also made sure that all security measures are in place. First of all, you have a set of privileges that you can assign to your users and user groups if you want to restrict them from using scripts entirely. But if you want entire corporation to use scripts, but you don't want everyone to see every script on your environment, you can easily set access control list. Erika showed you how easy it is on MicroStrategy objects, how you can just choose users and user groups and how many granularity of access they have with permissions. The same goes for Python scripts because they are objects in the metadata. But if those two layers of security weren't enough, MicroStrategy went one step further and introduced certification of the scripts. We also use certification in other parts of our products in dossiers. If you open a dossier that was certified, you can be certain that the data inside was verified and you can easily redistribute it and use it, for example, for your presentations. But if you open a dossier that wasn't certified, maybe it was under development and maybe the data you are using is not shareable because it simply isn't true. Same goes for Python scripts. We established that administrators know how to use Python and they know how powerful tool it is, but regular users might not. That is why we added additional privilege set by default to administrators, so they can freely run their scripts, create them, and then certify for others to use. But even if I'm the user who gets the certified script and I can run it, it doesn't mean it will overwrite my privileges or ACLs. Whatever I was set to do with user interface, I will be able to do with scripts. However, if I was restricted on some functionalities, I will not be able to break free with scripting. Script can be run, and even if I get ACL set for it, I will see it, it will be certified, and I can simply run it. If I don't have set of permissions or ACLs in place for the object that the script is touching, it will restrict me from executing because I wasn't supposed to do it in the first place. If all of that isn't enough, MicroStrategy also created a dedicated library called Mysteria, which contains all of the Python modules dedicated for our MicroStrategy objects. It contains classes and functions and also a tooltip on how to use them. We want to make sure it will be as easy as possible for you to build your queries, to know what arguments to use and how to define them. But if you're not a person who wants to create something from scratch, don't worry, we got you covered. We also have scripts gallery with 2 sections, administration workflows and code snippets. Administration workflows, as the name clearly states, contains end-to-end workflows for some of the administration tasks. You may be asked to provide, for example, object ID, because we want to make sure that it's tailored to your needs. With code snippets, you have samples of how to use our Python modules from Mysterio library. Of course, you can just set samples of those and copy and paste them directly to your canvas. You have the commentary section to guide you through it, to tell you how to use them at what they are supposed to do. Code snippets and Python modules from Mysterio library are strictly connected. And for all the modules that we introduce with newest versions, we also have code snippets to make sure you can use them as easily as possible. I know it was a lot of information on one slide, but I also prepared a demo for you to show you how easily it is to script your way with Python for MicroStrategy. Shruti mentioned distribution services and how we can use subscription in our daily tasks. I would like to show you how to create email subscription using Python and how easy it is with scripts, not only with user interface. Let me start with creating a new script. As you can see, I'm setting the environment that I want to run it on. And then from Mysterio library with simple drag and drop, I'm putting everything into my canvas. I'm using MicroStrategy identity token, so I don't have to hard code the credentials. Then from scripts gallery, I'm choosing the snippets part dedicated for creating an email subscription. I copy and paste it to my canvas and then add as little as email subject and change the subscription name. Then I need to provide IDs for the objects that I want to include in my subscription and who I want to send it to with what schedule. Of course, those information needs to be tailored to your needs because they are very generic. So we cannot make sure that everything that we put in there will be just freely used. You just need to tailor it a little. Then put Mysterio imports and run your script. As you can see, new subscription was created. It was very easy with scripts and as easy as with UI, I might say. So even if you're not very experienced Python user, you can still leverage Python and Workstation and make sure you can do that. That was it for my part of this presentation, but I also want to invite you for tomorrow. We have 2 sessions, one for architecting and data models, that is in US time. And then for administration world with MicroStrategy Workstation, we have actually 2 sessions, but the content is the same. We just tailored it to your needs so you can leverage and be there, whether you're working on US time, on Central European time. Thank you very much for being here today with us on this presentation. And now I will get the voice back to Uliana.
Thank you, Marta, Erica, and Shruti for such an insightful presentation. We are now transitioning to the Q&A part of this presentation, and we'll address as many questions as we can live. So please continue staying active via chat and questions tab. And for those questions that we will not be able to get to live, our experts will follow up with you outside this session. Okay, and with that, let's get started. Okay, earlier in the presentation, we had a comment and a question from audience. I find it easier to use developer for administrative tasks. How long will developer and workstation coexist? Is there a plan to discontinue developer at a certain point? Thank you for the question.
I can take that question. I know I have been an avid user of developer for about 9 years in total, so I can relate to it, but trust me, once you start using Workstation, you'll thank me for it, for all the new features. If you can join us in the administrator's world for tomorrow, you will know why exactly I'm saying that. And yes, to answer to your question, at one point, our goal is to discontinue using developer and to move into this new and user-friendly interface like Workstation. So I request all the users to start using Workstation because I'm sure you will love it.
And just like, if I can just add something to it, we would love to have your feedback once you get to use the new features that we have in Workstation. As Shruti mentioned, she has been a platform administrator here at MicroStrategy, and she has been transitioning to just like putting all that knowledge into the product. So try it out. If there's still something that you find that is not quite there yet, we are very open to receive feedback, and we would love to have a session with you. Just make sure that you contact your account executive and we can arrange a session just to hear you out and what are the things that we're missing.
Thank you, Erica. And then we had several requests to provide a little bit more information or cover things we can do in developer that we cannot that cannot be done in Workstation, and kind of vice versa. So if you would like to take that one, Erica, or Marta, Shruti. Thank you.
Sure. In terms of well, we are focusing on having these architect workflows in Workstation and the administrator workflows and so on. While we're doing that, we're also enhancing all the features and functionalities that we had in developer. So you will see a lot of the things that we didn't have in developer as part of Workstation. So that's a very important point. And with that said, we're planning to have all the features and functionality that we used to have in developer inside of Workstation by the end of this year. So right now for schema objects, we're missing, for example, drill maps, transformations, and some others. We will post those ones on our website, so that way you have like a reference to go to. But the plan is to have everything as part of Workstation. So you shouldn't delay moving into Workstation, because also we're adding more things to those workflows. So if you are an old user of Developer, I was a Shruti. I loved Developer, but then when I started working inside of Workstation and just making sure that I kind of tried it out, one of my key items is the developer, the dependent and component search. That is amazing in Workstation, because you don't have to get like all those pop-up windows jumping at you, trying to get like what is the behind the scenes of an object. With Workstation, you just have a real path, like a tree view, and then you can start drilling into it. So it's a very, very useful feature. So that's why I'm saying, don't get like stuck in Developer. We're adding a lot of functionality, and we're trying to hear you guys out and make sure that we address all of those pain points that we used to have in Developer, and just making them much better in Workstation.
Thank you, Erica. And then we have another request from the audience to speak a little bit more about model service. And they are looking for clarification on how to set this up using Workstation for the architect.
Sure. So for that one, we have some documentation on our website, and I can try to bring it up and just like post it after this session. Because like it's a lot of, well, it's not a lot of steps, but it's better to just like have that document so that I can push it to you guys.
Okay, thank you. And similar, our audience looking for explanation on a client reporter, and they heard about license and looking for a little bit more information. In particular, I heard there was a license you could buy that allowed users to only save view dossiers and reports, but not to be able to create or edit dossiers. Is there such a thing?
No, actually, you can all download Workstation and start creating a dossier for free. Like, you don't need a license to download Workstation. The only thing that you will need to do is go into the website, download it, and start playing with it. If you want to connect to a server, then that's a different story, but you can all start creating your dossiers for free with Workstation.
Thank you, Erica. Next question, is there a plan to integrate the Python scripts with source control system like Git?
Let me take this one. We have a plan to integrate additional libraries apart from Mysterio. So if you're using any other libraries, you would be able to set it up with Python runtime and then use the libraries still within MicroStrategy Workstation editor. As far as GitHub connection works, we are reviewing this, and we have heard that people want this, so we put it on our roadmap and under review. Whenever we will have something like this, I'm sure you will know it from What's New, and we will try to implement as many enhancements as you request. So if you have a business case, we also encourage to get connected to our tech support and create cases for us. The more we understand what is your business need and how you want to use it, the more we can actually do and tailor the Python editor to your needs.
Thank you, Marta. Okay, next question. How you migrate objects between environments? Still the object manager, or is there another way?
It will be also me. We are planning to integrate object manager workflows in a little slightly modified way, but it shouldn't be harder for you to use it. It should be more simplified with more functionalities, and for you to have a way to share information on the packages created, who migrated, etc. Also with the validation workflows And something addition that we want to have is also the rejection. So the admin and creator of the package will have more of the communication, more details will be within Workstation. So no additional tool. For now, we still have Object Manager running, but then again, you will have new set of functionalities directly in Workstation, so it will be easier for you to use it and easy to access.
Great, thank you. And here we have a question that came from a couple users. So will Python replace command manager scripts? And it looks like a few users asked a similar question.
Yes, actually, Python will be the replacement for Command Manager. That is why we're trying to make it as easy to use as possible. We understand it's a huge adjustment, but Python is more powerful. You can do way more things with it. And it still plays with our REST APIs layer, so it should be easy for APIs user as well to use it. We create the wrappers for the APIs with our Mysterio library, and then with code snippets, we made sure that we have parity with whatever samples you had with Command Manager. So if you were used to using samples from Command Manager, you could just copy and paste parts of the snippets and use them in your scripts. And it should be similar to whatever you had.
Great, thank you. Next question. Can we stop subscription in one click if at last moment the user learned that the data is bad?
Can you repeat that, Yuli? One click and what?
Absolutely. Can we stop subscription in one click if at last minute I got to know that data is bad?
So once subscriptions are created based on schedules, and yes, from the subscriptions monitor, it gives like a beautiful view of all the subscriptions, or if you have like I said, thousands of subscriptions, you can filter and point out to the exact subscription because the filters opt you for choosing projects and reports and report names, or even the owner of the subscription and also the recipients, of course. So you can filter on and just unsubscribe it, or even edit it in the last minute. So yes, but that has to be right before the schedule of the delivery.
Very good, thank you. And then another question, if usage on documents, dossiers, and hyperintelligence cards do not work in 2021 Workstation, has this been updated or improved in 2022 Workstation? So it looks like it's a comment and a question. So if you would like to comment on that, if the usage on documents, dossiers, and hyperintelligence cards not working in a 2021 Workstation, and has this been updated or improved in 2022 Workstation?
I can take that one. So usage statistics basically are coming from PA for us, like most of it are logged to the platform analytics. So if something is not working, they can track using the platform analytics data. And of course, like Workstation also offers, the data tracking for the project healthiness, I would say, because the project activity, everything is logged at the project level. So you can literally right click on the project and look for the activity and see like what are the errors or the dossiers or the cards which are in error, and probably fix it. If the question is for something else, probably I'm not sure. But yes.
Thank you for that answer. And of course, if the further clarification is required, so please reach out and connect with our experts directly. Okay, next question. When using cloud, what is the admin tool of choice? So when using cloud, what is the admin tool of choice?
I say that's a very generic question. when using cloud, are you like an MCE customer and having our cloud team monitoring your environment, you can use all the applications and products used delivered from from MicroStrategy. And of course, like each product has its own value. You can catch up for more information on our library sessions or hypercard sessions, or even workstation and architecture and admin sessions to learn more about the each product. But yes,
also the other thing, yeah, I was going to say, as Shruti mentioned, it depends on your specific scenario, but I would say, I mean, for the administrators, I think the workstation is your one-stop shop for all your needs. Also, the other thing is that we're also introducing more features related to cloud and how to manage all your nodes and everything. You can catch up on one of the sessions that is specific to cloud, and because they will talk more about how to leverage Workstation for your for cloud customers.
Great, thank you, Erica. Our next question: where is a Python interpreter installed? Can you use virtual environments?
Whenever you have your MicroStrategy workstation installed, it's right there. It's one installation for all components, so you don't need to install it additionally, or you don't need to worry about the space. Everything is within the workstation, so one installation covers everything. And you can use it with whatever setup you have. If you can use workstation in general, you can use Python interpreter.
Thank you. And here is one more question. Does a MicroStrategy package have the ability to import Windows users yet? Does a MicroStrategy package have the ability to import Windows users yet?
If it means the package for Python with the Mysterio library package, then the import of the users can be scripted. We have user modules prepared for it. So whatever actions can be taken within MicroStrategy can be taken with the APIs. You can script your way through it. But if you mean any additional tool built into Workstation to import users additionally, I'm not sure I can answer this question, but as Uliana mentioned, we can follow up after this session.
Sounds great. Thank you. Okay, and we are almost at time. So we will take one more question, and then all other questions and comments will be addressed outside this session. So the last question: is there a thought process to disconnect developer using admin role, and later in future as a platform admin, can I use it? Can use it only workstation tool for all of the work?
Yes, I believe so. For the later part of the question, yes, you can use Workstation alone for all the administrator tasks. As our main motive of Workstation is to use as a one-stop shop for all the administration. So the first question, I'm a bit confused. Like, you wanted to disconnect developer as an admin. If the question meant that we wanted to retire developer, yes, we wanted to, but in the near future, not now.
Also, we will provide support after we decide to sunset the product for as regular 3 years. So, and also we need to ensure that we have full parity with developer in Workstation.
Okay, thank you. The questions keep coming in, so I believe we still have a couple minutes, so if you don't mind. And thank you so much for this engagement. So one more question. Why are some MicroStrategy scripts labeled work in progress? Why are some MicroStrategy scripts labeled work in progress?
I think I can answer that. Well, we don't have full parity with Command Manager script, so that is why it's work in progress. We are going to be adding module by module to the workstation, so we will have the full parity. Also, some modules that will extend whatever Command Manager have. And as Erica mentioned and Shruti mentioned, we are trying to make the new tools, even if we're redesigning whatever was with the legacy tools functionalities like developer or Command Manager in that case. We want to make sure that we are adding as many functionalities for you as possible, so it will be better tool for you to use in the future. And as it goes, it's a work in progress also, because Python is developing and we want to develop the tool for you. So right now we are providing you possibilities to use scripts and use our modules, but we have some more in store and on our roadmap. So stay tuned, and I hope all of the functionalities that we have for you will be to your liking, and you will even be more eager to change Command Manager to Python.
Thank you, Marta. And we will close this Q&A discussion with a question that also will lead us to provide additional information and potentially where to find more information and what session you would recommend to use. So the question is there a public roadmap of what features you anticipate to have up and running in Workstation and when? So information on any further information on a roadmap, what to expect next for Workstation.
So we have one session at the end of the day tomorrow that it's a roundtable for all the PM leads, where we would talk about roadmap and what is coming and what should expect. And of course, if you need more information, we can actually meet with you guys. You just have to contact your account executive and request for a roadmap session. Depending on your specific interests, we can tailor it so that you don't have to go through the whole product. If you're interested in Python, then we will craft it to just be around Python. If you're interested about an overall picture, we can also do that.
Great, thank you. And thank you to all who attended this session and to our speakers for such an insightful presentation and for all the details during Q&A session. The recording of this session will be available on our website for viewing on demand. And again, thank you all for staying with us and have a wonderful the rest of your day.